Hey Radio. Today, I'm looking at Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame induction speech from WrestleMania 40 weekend. Roman Reigns inducts Paul Heyman. I found it a little weird, especially with CM Punk back, but Reigns has been working very closely with Paul Heyman over the last 4 years, so it makes sense. There are also ECW originals there, which also surprised me as to why Reigns was doing it. But when your world champion can induct one of the greatest minds and managers of all time, you might as well do it. Roman sort of rushes through his speech, and then he introduces Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman enters to the ECW theme, which I thought was really cool. He hugs RVD, Tommy Dreamer, and Bubba Ray Dudley on his way to the ring. Devon and Al Snow are also sitting there next to Bubba, and Heyman kind of completely ignores them, which I found kind of funny, actually. Heyman gets in the ring, steps up to the microphone. Before he can say anything, he gets a "You deserve it" chant. Heyman responds with, "You're damn effing right, I deserve this." He states he has nothing prepared because he wanted to feel the room and speak from the heart. He says he has immense respect for CM Punk, who will see the next to his children. He says he did exactly what he wanted to do with his life, and this wonderful performance art known as sports, and stops himself and then says professional wrestling. Big pop there from the crowd in attendance. He says it's an honor to be the first inductee of a class chosen and handpicked by Triple H, and says he will always be a Paul Levesque guy. He mentions how Stephanie is there wearing an ECW hat. It's really cool to see Stephanie. There's a lot going on within her family where it would make sense for her to not be there, but it's really cool to see her out and about around the WWE umbrella again. It's really cool. He gives a heartfelt speech to his children about doing what you want and how it's not about the money you make, it's about having the respect and admiration of those you work with, which I thought was a really cool way of him saying he basically did what he wanted, and he is where he is because he did what he wanted. He says he really wishes his parents were there to see this. He then asks where Cody Rhodes is. He turns and looks at Cody and says he really wishes Dusty was here to see this as well. He then says it's time to talk about ECW. He pulls out a cardboard box that has a leather duster in it, his old cell phone, and his hat. He looks at the cell phone and says, "I'm pretty sure I cracked this over Sting's head in the early 90s when he was wrestling Rick Rude." Anyway, he puts the leather jacket and the hat on. He says when he started ECW, he believed pro wrestling sucked. He mentioned bad gimmicks like Garbage Men and Mantor. He says ECW was created to upset the industry and shake things up, which is honestly exactly what it did. It was insane when it first happened. He says anybody that believes ECW died in a bankruptcy court in 2001 can suck his knee. Bubba's on his feet clapping for this. They cut to Bubba. He says he cannot be canceled. WCW canceled him. He created ECW. ECW was canceled. He came here and he was paired up with Brock Lesnar. He said when Brock wanted to go home and be a farmer in Saskatchewan, when he lost his 800-pound gorilla, he found Roman Reigns. He talks very closely about Roman and how he feels he is one of the best ever, how he loves working with him. He then mentions Braun Breaker, Rhea Ripley, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair as people he loves working with. So he will never stop working as long as there's somebody that he wants to work with, which I thought was incredible. And he says this is not near. Most Hall of Fame speeches signal the end. This is in no way the end. He says he's still just getting started. I'm actually surprised he didn't do like a "we're in the bottom of the fourth inning" thing or something. But anyway, what a speech. My my thoughts and review here didn't really do it justice. I do recommend, if you can find it, to watch it. It's about half an hour. It's really the only speech worth watching in the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which kind of sad, but also kind of cool. You want your headliner, you want him to be the main focal point, and he was here. But yeah, mad props to Paul Heyman for everything he's done in his career. I hope he continues to succeed and continues to be one of the greatest minds in wrestling. And those are my thoughts on Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame induction speech. And this has been Kayfabe Hayes Radio.